Here's what we're going to look at today. So, as a member benefit of Greater Rochester Association of Realtors, you all have, right now, it's already created for you, what we call an agent savvy card. And this is it right here. And I'm going to use Daniela's card for the purpose of this training. I always like to use a real person's product. So this is an agent savvy card, and it represents you, the agent. And then we're also going to be looking at this. We call these property savvy cards, and they represent the listing. We create one of these for every listing currently in your MLS. So that's what we're going to be looking at here today, those two things. And I'm going to tell you how to use both of them to make you money. So first things first, how do you get your savvy card? Well, since we launched with you, we've been sending out a number of emails to you telling you to claim your account because your SavvyCard has already been created. So all we want you to do is to claim your account. So you can go through one of those emails and claim your account. It's going to ask you to, enter your email address, set a password, and then it's going to ask you to put in your cell number, and it's going to text you a link to your SavvyCard. So you can go through the emails that you've been receiving from us telling you to claim your account. And once you do that and hit claim your account, just follow the steps. The alternative is if you maybe those emails have gone to spam, you've deleted them, which happens, right? Then if you've deleted them, don't worry. Just go to SavvyCard.com, and in the top right-hand corner here, if you go to SavvyCard.com, you'll see a great big box here that says Get SavvyCard, and then you can click on that box. And then what I need you to do is to enter the email address that you have registered with your MLS. That is the email address that we have your account attached to. Once you enter your email address and hit submit, it will just resend you that email that we've been sending to you in the past, and then just follow those steps for me. Okay, great. So that's going to kind of get you started, right, on getting your account. Now, you're going to have to set a password for this account, and it's going to ask you, as I say, to enter your cell number, and it's going to text you a link to your SavvyCard. It's going to text you a link to your phone. Alrighty, what do you do at that point, right? Okay, now this is the consumer-facing side of your SavvyCard, and this is your back end, your engine room, your control panel, if you like. So by going again to SavvyCard.com, entering your email address and the password that you just set, that will get you in here, the back end of your card. Now up here, I have a thing called SavvySchool. And every single thing I tell you here today is in here in SavvySchool. So if I scroll down here, I've got some orientation and training. We've got some pretty neat videos here. They're all about 2 or 3 minutes, but we'll walk through some of these here in just a moment. We've got a variety of different products that we offer. And I've got some ebooks and infographics. And again, these will all make an awful lot more sense at the end when we walk through this. I have some user success stories. These are realtors just like you in other parts of the United States who are using the product. And, they've given us their stories as to why, what they've done. That's been super useful for them to generate leads and so on and so forth. Okay, so down here we've got tutorials. Okay, so here we've got how to claim your SavvyCard. Well, that's going to tell you what I just told you. Either go through the email funnel or go to SavvyCard.com, hit claim your account, and get SavvyCard, enter the email address, follow the steps when you get that email. Now, some of you, when you get your card, might get a card that looks like this, with this particular background on it and this logo on it. Now, if you get that card, please don't worry. Greater Rochester Association of Realtors is providing you with a completely branded card, branded to your brokerage with your brokerage logo on and a nice real estate related background on the card itself. But when we launch with any market, we never have enough time to put all the brokerage logos on the card. So if you get a card like this, it just means it hasn't been finished yet. And that email that you get, that's going to tell you to, enter your password, put in your cell number. That email is also going to ask that you reply to this email, sending in your photo. And your photo will come to our team at Customer Success. And once they get your photo and they're applying it to the card, they will convert this into a fully branded card with your brokerage logo and your photo on it at that time. So, if you get anything really that doesn't have your brokerage logo on it, it just means it hasn't been finished on our end. So send your photo in and our guys will take care of it at that end. So how to update your SavvyCard photo or background. This is going to tell you, don't worry about that. You do not do that. We do that for you. So just shoot your photo over to support@SavvyCard.com. And again, even if you've claimed your card and you didn't send the photo in at the time, don't worry. You can pop that photo over to us at any time. Just send it over to support@SavvyCard.com and our guys will take care of that for you, And you can put a headshot on or a full body shot, whatever works for you. Okay, so that's our photo. So, okay, let's see what else we've got here. Let's walk through all of these. So, okay, how to access. We're going to look at card analytics. Okay, now here, we've entered our cell number and the card has been texted to us. We've gotten a link and we've clicked on the link and we've opened this card into our mobile device. What do we do with it now? Okay, well, if you have an Android, these ones here are going to tell you how to add the card to your phone. So if you have an Android phone, you're going to click on the link, you're going to open the SavvyCard into your mobile device, and all you've done at this point, right, is open a website. That's all you've done. So what you're going to do here is access your menu bar on an Android phone, which happens to be those three little dots up in the top right-hand corner. Tap those three little dots for me. Your menu bar is going to roll down for you just in case. So we're going to roll the menu bar down. And what we're looking for is add to home screen. So we're going to look for this option, add to home screen. We're going to select add to home screen, and then we're simply going to follow the steps. Add, okay. And then it's going to look like an app on our home screen. And once you've sent your photo into our team and they add your photo to your card, they will also add your photo to the icon. And that's what that is called. It's not an app. You didn't download anything. It's an icon. All websites today have one of those designs. So you can add any website to your Android phone, website you use on a regular basis by just walking through those steps. So it's funny, isn't it? The things that are on our phones sometimes that we're just not maybe familiar with, So, okay, so that's how we're going to add our phone to our Android phone. Now, what if we have an iPhone? Well, a very similar path, really. The menu bar on an iDevice is that square with an arrow sticking out of the top. And so many times people tell me that they thought this was I thought that was for forwarding photos. Yeah, and it is. Of course, we use it for forwarding photos, but it's your menu bar. It does so much more than just that. So again, you've entered your cell number. You've been texted a link to your card. You click on the link, the card opens up. And now what I want you to do is add it to your home screen. So we're going to click on that square with the arrow sticking out of the top. We're going to scroll down until we see add to home screen. And then we're going to select that. We're going to follow the steps. We're going to press add in the top right-hand corner. And it is going to place that website on our home screen looking like an app. That's an icon. It's not an app. And again, once you send your photo into our team, they're going to add your photo to that icon as well. Okay, wonderful. So now we've got the card on our phone, right? Now, once you've added the card to your phone, what I would really like you to do is come down here and take a look underneath the card for me on your phone. This is what I would like you to be able to see. But if you look under your card, underneath here, if you're seeing that it says log in, can you please do me a favor and hit log in and enter the password that you just set in that email that you received? So make sure you're logged in. And once you're logged in, you'll see these icons underneath here: save, view my cards, QR code, right, and more. If you're not logged in, you're going to see an option that says log in. Okay, wonderful. All right, so before we start talking now about the product itself, what I would like to do is give you a quick walkthrough of really what were one of those videos that we saw in SavvySchool called Share and Text. And I'm hoping this will give you a very good reason as to why you should use this product, right? So Share and Text goes a little like this. Alrighty, what do we do today? We do that, don't we? And we've always done that, haven't we? So hand out those business cards. And, you know, we all know, right, that 90% of all business cards end up in the trash in the first week. And we all know that. And we know that because we do that to other people's cards. Now, our cards are no more special than anyone else's. So if we do that to other people's cards, then we know that other people do that to our cards. So 90% of all business cards end up in the trash in the first week. And the 10% that don't end up in a pile on someone's desk, right? We're all a bit guilty of it. So they end up in a pile on someone's desk or in a drawer somewhere or at the bottom of your bag, right? We're all guilty, you know. Or according to this slide, eaten by like the world's largest baby. Anyhow, so the problem with that is that when you hand over that paper business card, you're almost giving up control of that situation. The person has now just walked away with that piece of paper, where chances are it's going to end up in the bin over the next couple of days. And you are standing there with your fingers crossed, hoping that this person is going to reach out to you. So Share and Text is 250 times more effective than handing over that paper business card. So the next time you are standing in front of somebody, what I would like you to say to them is, can I text you my business card and follow up with you later? So what we'd like you to do, instead of handing over that paper business card, is text your SavvyCard to prospects or people that you meet. Now, the initial benefit of that is sharing or saving people's contact information. So you get to save their contact information to your phone immediately. They receive a text message with a link to your SavvyCard, and they get prompted to save your contact details to their phone contacts. And then we encourage you to follow up with them within 1 to 2 business days. So why is it so important that step 2 happens, that they save your contact information to their phone contacts? Well, the reason that that is so important is robocalls in America. So in 2024, there were 53 billion robocalls made in this country. It's shocking, isn't it? You know, and that number is only going one way, as we know. So because of those pesky robocalls, 40% of all calls in the United States of America today go unanswered. And we do that, you and me, we do that. A call comes into our phone, we don't recognize the number, we think, you know what, I'll let that go to voicemail, I'll let that slide, car warranty, who knows, right? So 48% of all calls in the United States of America go unanswered because we do not recognize the number when it comes into our phone. Now, how does the sharing of your SavvyCard work? Well, when you meet somebody, again, with the one device that none of us go anywhere without, right? So you always have this with you. I want you to tap the icon on your phone, and that's going to open up your SavvyCard into your mobile device. Then I want you to select the share button. And from there, I want you to select share to individual. At that point, we're going to now say, you know, gosh, I'm going to need your name and your telephone number, you know, your cell number in order for me to do this share. And we're going to type in a little message, whatever that message may be. And we are going to press share this card. Now, at that point, the very first win is to you. You get prompted, hey, success, you've just shared your card with someone. Do you want to add their details to your phone contacts? Which you absolutely want to do. So I want you to tap download contact card and just follow the steps. The recipient, the person you've just shared it to, they receive a text message with a link. They click on the link, the card opens up, and now they're prompted to add your contact details to their phone contacts. And that's a win, right? Straight away, that's a win. So share, that's the share part. I then want you to follow up by text message. And I like to think that we're all very much the same, aren't we really? We all behave the same way, really. So your customers are just like you. So what are you like with texting? Because they're exactly the same. So, right, we all text today. That's the new way of communication, isn't it really, you know? So what I want you to do is follow up by text within 24 to 48 hours. And if you text someone after you've made contact with them, you increase the likelihood of doing business with them by 113%. So texting is immediate, isn't it? It's non-intrusive. We could be in a meeting, we get a text, we just shoot a text right back, unlike getting a phone call. So share, and then follow that up by a text. Okay, so that's share and text. And I hope that gives you an idea of one of the ways that we can use this card, right? So your SavvyCard is a digital business card. So here's our share button. So we're going to press the share button and share to individual. And here's where I enter the name, the cell number, and I press share. Now, your card, of course, has a listing button, which is a fully integrated IDX feed. And you guys all know how an IDX feed works, right? So I've got a find homes button here. I can either search near me. I'm nowhere near you guys, so I can't search near me. But so I have a fully integrated IDX feed on this card. So we're a digital business card with a fully integrated IDX feed. We also have here tap to search homes near you. So again, it's just an easy way and an immediate way for someone who's looking to search for homes, a customer of yours, where they can tap this and it will take them back in here. Again, I'm in Florida, so your IDX feed isn't going to work for me. But so again, they can just come here and do this, and it will search within a 5-mile radius of where they are by tapping directly on this button. So we're a digital business card with a fully integrated IDX feed. Alrighty. So now, this morning, or yesterday, I should say, I shared Danielle's card to myself. And one of the lovely things about SavvyCard is that when you share the card to someone, if I come here to the back end, the dashboard, the control panel for Danielle's SavvyCard, down here I have a thing called Card Analytics. And Card Analytics will store every share you make. All right, wonderful. So here is where I shared Danielle's card to myself yesterday. There's Danielle, there's me, there's my cell number, and there's the message I typed in when I shared Danielle's card to myself. Always important to type in a message. A message gives context to your contact. So even though we think to ourselves, oh gosh, I'll remember this person, you know, forever. If you're anything like me, 5 minutes later, you'll be like, oh my God, it's gone. So always put in a message. It gives context to your contact. Alrighty, wonderful. So it stores every share that you make. Now, after Danielle shared her card to me, I in turn shared her card to my friend Dowd Power. So here is my share. Whoa. And then I shared it to my friend Dowd Power. There's his name, there's his cell number. And here's the message that I typed in when I shared Danielle's card to my friend Dowd. Danielle is my realtor. She's amazing. Be sure to speak to her about selling your place. Now, when someone shares your card to someone else, certain things happen. So in this case, Dowd received a text message with a link to Danielle's card. But Danielle received an email in real time from SavvyCard saying, Danielle, Ruth O'Leary just shared your card to Dowd Power. Here's his name, here's his cell number, and here's the message that Ruth put in at the time. So the best advice I'm going to give you on this call here today is when you get an email from SavvyCard, open it. We're not trying to sell you anything. We haven't got anything to sell you. You have our all singing, all dancing version of our product. So when we send you an email, we're sending you something of value. So open it. It's the best advice, honestly, that I can give you. So Danielle would have received an email, right, telling her, alerting her to this share. Now, Danielle, of course, now has two options, right? She's either going to call me and, hey, Ruth, I see you shared my card to Dowd. Like, thanks ever so much. Who's Dowd? Or she's going to call Dowd directly and say, hey, I see that Ruth has just shared my card. How do you know Ruth? Isn't she just an absolute delight? I hope she says that. Okay, so now we're lead generation, right? So now we're lead capture and we're lead generation. So, okay, great. What else can it do? All right, if I come back here to the dashboard of my card, I have a thing called edit this card. So I'm going to edit the card. And from here, I can see all of these tabs up here. So we're going to take a quick look at these tabs. I've got background. Well, background belongs to me. We do your background on your card and stuff like that. You can hit card info and you can put a title under your name. So down here in description, you can write, anything you like, really. So here we go. So you can type in a description for yourself and just press save. Once you've made a change, just press save. And you're not married to any of this. You can come in here and update that any day of the week that you please. So that's how you can put a title under your name. Card info and description. Here we go, right here. Okay. So background, other than that, belongs to us. Picture, again, belongs to SavvyCard. Just send your photo in to us and we'll add it to the card for you. Buttons. Now, we call these round things on your card, we call them buttons. And here I've got button style. And then down here, you've got all of the buttons that we can have turned on your card. Anything that's green is already turned on, and we're pulling that information from the MLS. Anything that's red is not on. So green is on, red is not on. So the first thing we have here is button style. So you can come in here and pick whatever button style you like. Once you make a choice, just press save to lock in that change. Call, this is the telephone number that you've got registered as your primary number at the MLS. If this is not your cell number, and it really should be, your primary number should be your cell number written at the MLS, then you need to go back and change that with the MLS. You cannot change it here with us. We pull from the MLS. So if this is not your cell number, please go back and change your cell number with the MLS, and then that'll poke our system and we'll come in and override it from there. So that's call. Email, again, we're pulling your email address from the MLS. If this is not the email address that you want to use, then you need to change it at the MLS level. And again, we'll get notified. Text, your text button should absolutely be on. So I know Danielle's cell number is this. So let me enter it. And then all I'm going to do is say, yes, show this button on my card, press save. It's going to turn that green. And it's gonna put a button on the card here in just a moment when I refresh. Now, I am a believer in that if a button doesn't serve a purpose on your card, turn it off, leave it off. So only have buttons showing on your card that bring value to a consumer. Otherwise, it's just noise. and the things that will bring value will get lost. So just ask yourself, is this bringing value to a consumer, right? And if it's not, if the answer is no, then leave it off. So, okay, about me, I'm going to turn this off. About my company, well, I can tell this is your brokerage by looking at the logo on your card. So we pull the address of your brokerage directly from the MLS. I'm leaving that off. Share, this is our share card, our share button. Now, one of the lovely things about this that I particularly love is you can put in a message. So, okay, and there are certain things that only you see. So I'm going to call this prospect. It doesn't matter. And we're going to call this, initial contact is fine and nice to have met at. All right, and then maybe I'll follow up later this week. All right, so you can enter a message. And I can choose to have this on my realtor card or my property savvy card, whichever. We'll talk about your property savvy card in just a moment, but let's put it here for now. And if I save this, what happens now is if I do a little refresh here, and when I share the card, when I press the share button, I now have a message here that I can choose, right? So it'll take the heavy lift. Nice to have met at wherever, right? Starbucks. So I can have most of my message typed out, and then I'll follow up later this week. So you can type in messages. Now, I'm going to an event, a work event next week, and I will type up my message on my card before I go there. Nice to have met at the conference, the name of the conference. And the reason I will do that is that when I come back from my conference, and I go to my card analytics, that's how I follow up. I give context to my contact so that when I come back from my conference, I know all of these people, I met them at my conference, and then I'll text every single one of them to see if we can schedule a meeting, So I love this feature. So please use this quite regularly. If you're going to a wedding, if you're going to a personal event, if you're going to a networking event, just come in here, type in the message so that as you're meeting people, you're referencing the event that you've met them at, in the message so that it's all set up and ready for you to share. Okay, so we've got that. And then find me. Again, we pull the name and address of your brokerage from the MLS, and this will give turn-by-turn directions. It connects to Google Maps. I say leave this button off. How many of you were meeting people in your office? Ever since the pandemic, I think really things changed, didn't they, Now, the My Sites button is interesting. Social is interesting. Recommend is interesting. We're going to look at all of those right now. So contact information. What I want you to do is come in here and take a look at this information. This is super important. We're pulling this information directly from your MLS entry. And when a person receives the link to your card and they add your information to their phone contacts, this is the information that they're adding. They're adding whatever is in here. So if this is not correct, you need to change it at the MLS, and then we in turn will come in and pick it up from your MLS. And if you want to add your website address, then, pop it in here for sure. So, okay. Now let's take a look at some of these buttons. So let's talk about the card first. If I share my card to somebody, right, we've already identified it's a digital business card. It's got a fully integrated IDX feed, and it's lead capture and lead generation. All right, great. It's all of those things for sure. But that IDX feed of yours, that's only valuable to people who are looking to purchase a home. So that's the only people that IDX feed brings value to. So what has Danielle got on her card here? Okay. So let's take a look at this. All right. So the IDX feed only brings value to people who want to purchase a home, who are interested in searching for a home. So what about all the other people that you work with though, right? Because that's just one sector of them really, isn't it? So what I need you to do is think. all of the other tools that you have and all of the other questions that you get from people, right? So here's when you're adding something to your card. Now look at this. So what I want you to do is always think about the consumer. If I'm a consumer and I'm coming here, what is this telling me? I don't know. Like, what is it asking me to do? What value is it bringing to me? So I don't, as a consumer, I can't see any value here for me. So let's take a look at this. So Danielle, if I look here, and I already had a look at Danielle's website yesterday. So here, right, and all of you on this call today, you've all got a home valuation tool. Every single one of you does. You're either getting it from your broker, you've got it from your MLS, you're getting it from your association of realtors, but you've all got it. So think about the tools that you've already got. Now, I love a home valuation tool, and I think it's probably one of the more underrated tools in a realtor's toolbox. So what I can do here is I can copy this. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring it back here. I'm going to put it on the My Sites button. I'm going to get rid of some of these so I can add another, and I'm going to paste this in here, and I'm going to call it what it is so that a consumer can see and immediately see the value to them. Get your free home valuation, and I'm going to save that. Now, if I'm a consumer and I'm looking at this card, then by looking here, I do not know that any of these have tools on them for me. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. And I am going to put the things that bring value to a consumer on my card. And I might just take it a moment to filter through to do this. Alrighty, so, and then what you should do, and one of the things that we don't do, right, as people, none of us do it. We never look at our own websites. You know, that's not the purpose of our website, is it? But I want you all to go and do that. I want you to take a look. Have a look and see what's on your website. And then don't just grab your entire website link and put it on there. Call out each one of the resources so that when a consumer goes to your card, they don't have to dig around in your website to find the things that are of value to them. So here again, right, I've got home mortgage. So, okay, we've got a bunch of people here for mortgage. So I can copy this, and I can come back here, and I can either add this here on the My Sites button. I can do that, but I also have a recommend button. So I'm going to come down here, and what I can do now is I can place that here, and I'm going to say that I have 3 mortgage providers. And then we're going to recommend these people for mortgage, and we're going to save that. So yes, show this button on my card and press save. So I'm going to tell you that for me, I think a home valuation tool is super useful, and we're going to talk about all these things once I get the card set up. But I know lots of realtors, as you can imagine, certainly in my own area. And I bet you I'm very much like a lot of your friends. And I bet a lot of your friends and your past clients, right? We're all the same. I bet they call you and text you regularly. Who's your guy? Listen, I need to get the place painted. Who's your guy? I've got a leak in the roof. Who's your guy, right? And we do that because we know you have them. We know that you have trusted vendors, and that's why we do that to you. So what you can do here, right, is we can add them to the card. Now, some of your vendors will have websites, right? So roofing near me. So let's pick a roofer here. Alrighty, so so I can grab a website and I can add it, just copy that. I can bring it back here. I can add it to the card. So we've got roofing with us. It doesn't really matter, does it? I'm recommending them for roofing. Or maybe I put a name here, right? Paul Jones. And if I have a number, I can add it, 813-361-4536-33. And that's great if you have a website and you want to include it. And then, you know, we all know, don't we, that sometimes people don't have a website. You know, your local painter or the pressure washer guy, they might not have a website. So you can just put in his name. So now we're going to add, you know, John Smith for pressure washing. And his telephone number is 123-456-7899. All right, we're going to do that. So, and then once I've done them, I'm going to press save here. I can, if I want to move them around, I see this little hamburger menu here. I can grab that and I can move them and put them into whatever, you know, order I like, really, you know. So I can layer the card with value. That's what I'm doing here, and that's very important. So always press save once you've made a choice. Now, I can hear some of you. You're saying to me, well, Ruth, hang on a second, though, because, you know, sometimes you'll find this hard to believe, but relationships change. You know, the painter that I'm working with today is not the painter that I was working with, you know, 2 weeks ago. And, you know, that's fine, right? That's just fine. So all you have to do is when things change, so let's take a look at Danielle's card right now. Oh my goodness. Let me just mimic. So what will be reflected on Danielle's card is the information that you placed on there right now. That's what's going to be reflected right now. So we've got a mortgage, we've got a roofer, I've got a pressure washer, but I can come in here at any time and I can edit this card, go to the buttons, come down here to recommend, and I can just delete them. So I'm going to get rid of my 3 mortgage providers. And I'm going to get rid of the mortgage guys completely, actually. And now I'm going to save that. And wherever your card is, when somebody taps the icon on their phone and opens your SavvyCard, all they're really doing is refreshing your website. They're always pulling from your back end. So long as you keep that back end up to date and delete people as the relationship changes or add people as you're adding new people into your network, then wherever your card is, they will always have your up-to-date list. So, okay, let's take a look at Danielle's card now. So now, wherever Danielle's card is, right, when they press that recommend button, they're now no longer going to see those 3 mortgage providers because we deleted them. So, okay, so always have the up-to-date information on your card. By simply, you know, taking care of the back end of your card. That will always have correct information in the hands of your clients. All right, so let's take a look at Danielle's card. What else do we want to add here? Edit this card, we're in buttons. So we've got a social button, and social allows you to add really whatever social media channels you would like onto the card, you know. So I have a Facebook account, so I'm going to just copy that link, bring it back here, add another, and then, you know, paste the link in here, select Facebook. Danielle apparently has already added LinkedIn. I'm going to, yes, show this button on my card, press save. That's going to turn that green, and it will show that button on my card. So, okay, let's take a little look now at Danielle's card now that we've got her buttons on. Okay, so now what you can see here, right, is call, email, and text should absolutely be on. They're the 3 buttons that people can use to contact you. They're super, super important. They should always be on. The share button we absolutely need so that we can share the card. We've got our listing button. It's our fully integrated IDX suite. We want to keep that. Now, by having the My Sites button and the social button, it means that I now am pushing other buttons to the back of my card. So my recommend button is now sitting on the 2nd page. So that's a personal choice for you. You're going to have to ask yourself, what's more important to me? What do I think is bringing more value to my customers? And personally, for me, I think that recommend button is far more important than my social. So I'm going to hide that so that I can pull my recommend button to the front. There we go. Now I've got all my buttons on the front page. So it's personal preference, but always lead it with what is bringing value to my customer. Okay, so now I've loaded the card. Let's go back in here first and take a look at the rest of these tabs up here before we actually dig deeper into that card. So here we've got an icon tab. This just shows you what that icon will look like on your phone. And again, once you send your photo into our team, they're going to add your photo to the icon and also your card itself. And we own that. Settings belongs to SavvyCard. It just tells us what your SavvyCard link looks like. So we own that. Now, marketing. All SavvyCards generate an email signature. And these are quite fabulous, I think, really. Once you add your photo, right, or once you send your photo into us, then your photo will be obviously where this head is when we generate it. But so you just click whatever one you want, whatever email signature, you prefer, and then come down here and hit generate email signature. It will generate this for you. And it's really just a copy and paste exercise to place that email signature into your email settings. All SavvyCards also generate a QR code. Now, these used to be super popular, weren't they? During COVID, they really, came out, didn't they? But a QR code, some people like using a QR code, and they think it's kind of cool. It is kind of cool, but be very careful with the QR code. A QR code is a little bit like giving out a business card. I'm okay using a QR code if I'm not going to be there. If I'm not going to be in a room somewhere and I just want people to get my details. Because when somebody scans a QR code, all that's happening, right, is they're just getting a link to your website. So when somebody scans that QR code, they're just going to get a link to your SavvyCard. You're not going to get their information. So for me, when I am standing in front of somebody, I ask myself, what do I want? What's of value to me? I want your number. That's what I want, because I want to follow up. This does not allow me to do that. But it is cool. And there's lots of places you can use it. You could use it on a for sale sign, for example, right? Where someone could get the information. But, there's lots of places you can use it. But it's not how I lead if I'm standing in front of somebody. I'm sharing my card because I want their contact information. Okay, so this is our back end or our dashboard of our SavvyCard, and this is for our agent card. This is the control panel for our agent card. And then we have our property SavvyCards down here as well, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. So, okay, so let's talk about the card here for just a sec now that we've loaded it up. So we now have a digital business card, fully integrated IDX feed, lead capture, lead generation. But now we've also got some things that are going to bring value to other sectors of your audiences that are not just buyers, because they are just one sector of the people that you deal with. So now we've got our vendors on our card. So why would we do that? Well, we're going to do that for two reasons. All of the people that all of your past clients, these are the people who refer you, right? So by having a list of trusted vendors on your card is a great way to have your existing customers or past customers or friends and family to keep your card on their phone, right? So that when they meet someone looking for a realtor, that they can press the share button and share your SavvyCard with people. And this is the only way that you're going to get notified that somebody did this. So if they share your information through this mechanism, you're going to get notified in real time. And I have no doubt that people share your information today. I I've no doubt that they do. But nobody calls you up and says, hey, listen, I just shared your card to someone. No, nobody does that, not in the real world. They rely on the person they shared it to getting in contact with you. And if that person doesn't do that within 3 days, they're not going to call you. That's a wasted lead. So what you want to do is train your friends and family. Hey, listen, when you meet someone, if you want to recommend me, which I'd be super grateful for, if you could recommend me using this, my digital business card, I get notified in real time. I can follow up in real time with them, you know. So what can we do to make this a valuable tool for those guys to keep your card on their phone? And vendors is certainly a way of doing that, right? Okay, so now we've got IDX feed for home buyers, but what about me? I own my own home, so your IDX feed is of no use to me. But my home is my largest financial investment, so I'm always checking what it's worth. Has it gone up? I hope it has, you know, so I check regularly, like most people, I think, you know. So having me come here, get my free home valuation, I'm going to have to enter my address, aren't I? And I'm going to do this. And we all know, don't we, that what this is really doing is putting me into your CRM, into your contact list. So I'm pretty sure maybe on a regular basis, you're going to send me an email telling me what my home is worth in this current quarter, or whatever your cadence is, every 6 months, whatever, however often you send it. And out of all the emails that I delete or ignore, I'm opening that one because I'm always interested. Has my house gone up? And then you'd like to think, wouldn't you, that in 7 years' time, or whatever the number is when I go to sell my house, that I'm going to reach out to the lovely realtor who's been sending me that email for the last couple of years, you know? So that's the sort of stuff you need to think about. So what tools do I have that I get asked for all the time? What can I add to my SavvyCard? Because now I can use my SavvyCard as a distribution channel for these tools. So that's now what your agent SavvyCard is. All right, so that's our agent SavvyCard. Now we've got our property SavvyCards. So for every single listing that you currently put on the MLS today, or that you currently have in the MLS today, we've created a property SavvyCard for it. And this listing button here, when someone clicks on it, it first opens on featured listings, and these are going to be your listings. These are your property SavvyCards. Then we have Find Homes. This is the generic, you know, MLS-wide search. And all you can sell any home, can't you? That's in the MLS. So we lead with your listings, and then we have, you know, general Find Homes, general IDX feed. So the property SavvyCards look a little like this. So the lovely thing about property SavvyCards is once you put a listing into the MLS, let me flip over here for just a sec. When you put a listing into the MLS, our system gets poked, which is our technical term, and we create this. We will then send an email to the listing agent. Remember earlier I said, when you get an email from SavvyCard, open it. It's the best advice you're going to get here today. We're only ever sending you something of value. So when you put that listing into the MLS, our system creates this, and then we send the listing agent an email. And the email, you know, says, hey, listen, congratulations on your listing. Here's a link to your property SavvyCard. But here are some things we recommend you do with it. You should share it to the home seller. You can do it from this email, press this button. So you can share it here. You click on share listing to home seller, enter their email address and their name, and our system will send an email to them on your behalf. Dear John, your realtor, Danielle, has created this standalone website for your home. She's marketing it through various channels, but she recommends that you do too. You know, the more interest and leads we generate, John, the more timely a fashion we'll sell your home. And then we'll walk them through how to post it to their Facebook page. Now, the other thing it does, of course, is it says, listen, you can post it to your Facebook page. You can do it from this email. Just press this button. So a lot of realtors call our product push button simple, which we particularly like. So we can do it from this email. When you get an email from SavvyCard, open it, please, you know. The other place you can do it is, and we're going to jump in and take a look at it here in just a sec, is, you know, from the dashboard of your card. So we have a share to home seller right here. So you can do it in two ways. And then, you know, why? Why would you do it, right? Why? Well, I know for a fact, right, that every time you get a listing, you put a for sale sign outside on that yard. And the only reason you would not put a for sale sign out in that yard is if you're not allowed. And that's always a shame, isn't it? Because we like nothing more than to get a great big wooden stake and stick it in the ground that says, this is my farm area. This is my area to sell homes. My name is on the sign. Oh, by the way, I'm selling John's house. So if you're thinking of selling your house, call the number on this sign. That's the number one reason for a for sale sign, right? The second reason is to just alert people to the fact that it's for sale. So by having a homeowner post their own website for their own property to their own social media channels is a lot like having a digital representation of that for sale sign go right through the home seller's channel. So here's an example of someone who posted a property SavvyCard to their own social media channels. And, you know, here's the post they wrote, right? It was for an open house. And their post is adorable, right? I mean, it's adorable. You know, this is a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 1.3 acres with a pool, you know, they're down in Florida. 1 mile from everything. You know, I quite like this. We have a 2-stall barn and a beautiful chicken coop already set up for new guests. It's adorable. So, you know, a realtor might not write that, right? But a homeowner would, right? So they're going to write something personal about their home. And although that's adorable, which it is, what's truly valuable is this. You know, this post through the homeowner's feed created 33 comments and 65 shares on social media, a digital representation of a for sale sign. And there's not a single listing that you would ever get that you would not want to put that for sale sign outside the door. So this should be seen as an absolute standard operating procedure. So super easy to do, right? So let's take a look. So here again is the dashboard of your card. Now, right now, for every single listing that you currently have right now, regardless of what state it's in, pending, sold, you know, active, whatever, they're in here. So I want you to come into your account and take a look down here. And for anything that's active, right, this is active, you can come in here and you can share this to the home seller right here. Put in their name, their email address, and we can send it to additional people if you like. Just put in their information and our system will send that all for you. And then what it's going to do is tell them, look, here's how you do it, John. You simply press the share button. You select share to social. Pick any of the social media platforms that you use. Write something personal about your home. Ask your friends and family to share. And then press post. That's how simple it is. Push button simple. So using seller share really should be standard operating procedure. In my opinion, it's a digital representation of a for sale sign. So now when it comes to posting things, you get a property savvy card for every single listing. Now this is pending, right? It's all about leveraging what you've got to win your sale, your customer of tomorrow. It should always be about that. So this is pending right now. So let's see what else we've got. Do I have a sold one here? Let's take a look. So pending, active. Nope, they're all active. Okay, as soon as it sells, right? So right now it's pending. So you could be, this is pending. You could also push this back out, right? Again, onto your own social media channel. Do you have a home in the Oxford area that you're considering selling? because I've just got a buyer for this home and I'm looking for other homes in the market. I have potential customers. Leveraging what we've got to win our customer for tomorrow. Once it's sold, right? Back out onto the market. Just sold this property in record-breaking time. Do you have a property in this area that you're considering selling? If so, please contact me. I have potential customers, right? So leverage what we've got, for customer of tomorrow. So, okay, now that we understand our product a little bit better, let's go back in here into SavvySchool and take a look at our information here. So here we've got share and text. We walked through that. Referral team. This is all about adding people to the back end of that referral button. Seller share. It's going to talk about what we just talked about right there. Listing share is talking about when you're going in to win a listing, you should open up your property SavvyCard or a property SavvyCard and show it to the homeowner. Mr. Homeowner, if you list with me, one of the other things that I will do for you is I'm going to create one of these for you. And then I'm going to send that back to you, and you in turn are going to push it out to your social media channels, leveraging our technology to win our next listing. We also do Facebook ads. If anybody is interested in learning a little bit more about paid for Facebook generated lead ads, that's something we can do for you. Okay, and then down here we have some tutorials. If any of you are interested in learning a bit more about doing, Facebook ads on your own, we've got some little tips in here for you to do. Here's our user success stories. Some testimonials from realtors in here. Okay, now we know how to claim our card. We know about the photos, right? This is going to tell you how to access your card analytics. You know that share log at the back that we saw? This tells us how to add our phones to a Android or an iPhone. Now this will tell us how to share our SavvyCard on social media versus sharing it to an individual. This will tell you how to turn on or turn off those buttons on your back end. This tells you how to set your email signature. And then here we've got how to add valuable resources to the My Sites button, all of those web-based tools that you have, your home valuation being one. And then here we've got how to add, vendors to the recommend button. And then this is going to say, look, if you come in here and you're like, no, that's not my cell number, that's not my email address, you cannot change that with us. All we're doing is pulling from your MLS. So you cannot update with that, update with us directly. You have to change it at the MLS level. Then our system will simply come in and pick it up from there. And just saying, look, if you've got any questions at all, or, just pop over an email to our guys in support, or pick up the phone and give them a call. We're a super friendly old crew, we're happy to help in any way that we can.